powerhouses, defending champions Senegal and four-time champions historically, Ghana. Coincidentally, heading into match day 2, all 4 teams of the group were even on points, goals scored and goals conceded, with both match day 1 games ending in 1-1 draws. Senegal had taken the lead against the Central African Republic, yet let the potential 3 points get away from them late in the second half. While Ghana, their 1-1 draw on match day 1 was quite different. The Black Satellites were led against the Democratic Republic of Congo and then scored a beautifully worked goal, an equalizer, to come back from that 1-0 deficit. Their manager, Desmond Ofei, believes that his side can get the win as long as they are more clinical in today's game, and that should ensure that we get the desired result to boost our chances of qualifying for the quarterfinal. That was his quote before the match. What the Black Satellites can count on is perhaps a different psychological impact between letting go of a lead and then returning from one. However, they have a daunting task ahead nonetheless, and history is not exactly in their favor. The only time these two sides met at the under-20 level was in 2019. Senegal would emerge victorious. It would be a 2-0 victory, a brace scored by Youssouf Badji, who now plays his club football at our house, former Charleroi and former Stade Brestois 29 player. Moreover, Senegal under-20 are undefeated in their last 12 group stage matches, 9 wins and 3 draws in their last 12. They've also never lost to a West African Football Union opponent in their last 8, 7 matches, 7 victories and 1 draw, while Ghana are less consistent against the West African teams. In their last 4, only 1 win, which came against the Gambia in 2021. However, it was in the semi-final. They lost it.
For those who love it, those who support it, and those who play it, Orange is here. Orange, proud sponsor of African football.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything we can to be useful and providing energy in all its forms. Everywhere, every time, all across the continent.
And so we are back. We see referee Hilary Hambaba from Zambia leading the 2 packs of 11 players who will be starting this match. We're in for a really interesting game of football. Of course, when the tournament started in Egypt, 13 nations qualified, having all played their opening matches at the very least. Senegal and Ghana, the last teams in this tournament to close out match day 2. For those of you new to the competition, let's have a quick recap of how we've gotten here. 5 teams were drawn into Group A. Some of them have already played 3 games, while Groups B and C are groups of 4 teams. Among the qualified, some of the best young talents of the African continent will be looking to represent their country in this prestigious tournament and make their mark on the competition's history. The draw procedure was announced on the 10th of February in 2025. Initially, this tournament was supposed to be taking place in Ivory Coast. However, they were later replaced by Egypt, who have been wonderful hosts so far. Now, both sides coming out to the music of the Africa Cup of Nations, or the CAF, anthem. The new Suez Stadium was also the stage to a previous match day 2 game on Group C that played between the Democratic Republic of Congo, who won the match 3-1 over their adversaries of the day, Central African Republic. 2 goals scored by Noah Ernest Makanza and Belabala make the difference. However, now we can focus on this match between les Lions de la Teranga, les Lionceaux de la Teranga, and the Black Satellites. Players facing their supporters as they walk onto the pitch. This is a tournament that has boasted a proud history of producing some of Africa's biggest football stars, including Yaya Touré, Mohamed Salah, Patson Daka, Benny McCarthy, household names. As we proceed to hear the national anthems. You just heard God Bless Our Homeland Ghana, the Black Satellites national anthem. Sang with a lot of enthusiasm by the Senegalese national side. The players that will be led by coach Saliou Dia, expected at least to reach the final, at least the final four. Of course, what else at stake in this tournament is not just glory, but it also is qualification for the upcoming World Cup, which will be taking place in Chile later this year. Ghana's starting lineup, it's a 4-2-1-3 formation put in place by their manager Desmond Ore. Lots of changes made in comparison to their opening match. Otherwise, perhaps even a 4-3-3. Asiako remains in goal. Antwi has to be careful with the yellow card. He'll be wearing the captain's armband. Number 3 will be wearing the captain's armband, excuse me. McCarthy, Marfo, Poku, Arifa in the midfield. And then Aziz, Afriye, and Issa up front. Starting 3 that'll be tasked with leading the offensive animations for the Black Satellites. Interestingly to note that several, almost the majority of the players that are starting tonight do not play their club football in Ghana or in the same country, so to speak. They play their club football all around Europe. See the captains exchanging banners, showing sportsmanship. The match official, Hilary Hambaba. He'll be deputied by Diana Chikatosha, Musa, Sibu Milwane, Firi, Nakona Makalima. Hambaba getting his first officiating job since the Confederations Cup earlier on this year. And yes, as a reminder, there is video assistant refereeing in this match, as well as throughout the whole under-20 tournament. For Senegal's starting 11 to be announced, the one put in place by Saliou Dia, almost untouched compared to how they started against the Central African Republic. It's Mohamed Sissoko in goal, Ousmane Konaté, Faliou Diouf the captain, fullbacks Ibrahima Diallo and Lassana Traoré, the midfield of Pierre-Antoine Diatta Dorival, Pape Daouda Diong, and number 8 Cheikh Tidiane Thiam, the goal scorer in that opening match. The up front 3 of Mamfai, Ibrahima Dieng, and Yaya Diémé. Yaya Diémé is the player who gets the start today, or Yaya Diem, excuse me. while the rest largely untouched compared to the starting 11 against the Central African Republic. And it will be Ghana wearing their yellow kits, Senegal wearing their green, both switching from their whites, which they were wearing in their opening matches. It's good to see some atmosphere as well on the stadium. The opening game against the Central African Republic was a little bit tame in terms of atmosphere. Hopefully the rhythm put in place by the supporters here at the new Suez Stadium will bolster and boost as the countdown ticks towards the starting and opening kickoff. And Mr. Hambaba blows the whistle. It's Ghana who get things kicked off for us. The Black Satellites will look to avenge their 2019 generation that fell to les Lionceaux de la Teranga. They're on the offensive, coming in first. It's spread out wide to the number 10. He's in the box, cutting onto his left foot. So close, dangerously sending a message. Issa. Showing that Abdul Aziz Issa, the top goal scorer in the 2023-2024 Africa Cup of Nations Confederation Cup. He currently plays his club football in Spain for the FC Barcelona B side. That was interesting, the dispatch as well by Marfo, the midfielder. And the outswinging corner can be met by a Ghanaian player. They still hold on to the possession. On that touch, just gets a little bit away from Emmanuel Mensah, and they're going to work it all the way back to their goalkeeper, Asiako, to restart. But very pleasant music being played in the back of the Suez Canal Stadium. Or the new Suez Stadium, excuse me. A little bit inaccurate from Gideos Asiako, the Dream FC goalkeeper, who started 25 games at the senior level. 14 clean sheets as well. Nothing to bat about. And now, can Senegal get a spell of possession, or will they be continued to force to be defending? Very interesting setup put in place by Desmond Ofei, the manager of 37 years of age, so has a Belgian nationality. If you listen to his interviews, does mention that it is not so easy having players that play their club football not at all in the same place. However, does mention that there is specific criteria, that KPIs is what he says, based on the 4 categories that really they look into. It's the mental, the physical, the tactical, and the technical. They select players that they believe can fit into a global or plan that he has put in place with his technical staff. As they go forward, Ghana again, they're looking the more dangerous of the sides in these opening 3 minutes. And Senegal looking just a little bit slow to wake up and get into this match so far. They haven't really put their foot on the ball and had a spell of offensive play, but risky business here from the number 3. Crunching tackles on both sides. The physicality of the under-20 level is extremely high. But Desmond Ofei also values hunger. He believes his side are going to be fighting on every duel, and they have to finish their chances. They didn't do so in their opening match against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Only hit the target twice, scored once, but they had created opportunities. They had regrets. But yeah, their manager, Ofei, hunger is a main criteria as well. He's instilled belief, and he does believe that. There he is here, shown on your screen. 37-year-old manager who's also the assistant coach for the senior side under their manager Otto Addo. They failed in their campaign to qualify for the Senior Africa Cup of Nations tournament, which will be taking place in Morocco in December. Long ball played forward, and Senegal defended quite well. It's played out serenely by Ousmane Konaté. On the other hand, Senegal, lots of their players, well, most of the players that we're seeing on the pitch now, still plying their trade in Senegal. Only a select Pierre-Antoine Diatta Dorival is playing his club football, as well as Manfai in Europe. It's a good ball played into Ibrahima Dieng. Just they didn't read each other well with Yaya Diem. But Yaya Diem does well to win it back. He's going forward with pace. He's going to shoot, and that's a first shot on target for les Lionceaux de la Teranga. Yaya Diem, called the Senegalese diamond by reports, playing his club football at Diambar. Pass across the face of the pitch. They'll be switching from left to right, all the way into the path of the number 14, Aaron Essel. But it's given back, and now Ibrahima Dieng. He's got players to look forward to. He's brought down, and that'll be the easiest yellow card for Hilary Hambaba to give. Ibrahima Dieng creating on his own through lack of service, but provoked a foul, and Marfo gets into the book. The 19-year-old midfielder, he plays his club football in Brazil for SC Internacional. A great passer. They're showing that he was desperate to cut the attack before it could really develop. Looking over the free kick is Pierre-Antoine Diatta Dorival. He's one of the most talented promises of this squad, but he goes away from it. It's going to be shot from distance. It's a second shot on target. That was from the foot of Fallou Diouf, the 18-year-old captain. They did allow a little bit of a window to aim for, but the distance was a little bit too much there. Mbaba believes the ball went out of bounds on that long ball that was in search of Jerry Afrier. Manuel Mensah with his left foot there, not able to keep it in play. Manuel Mensah, who moved to Norway in 2024 for Sogndal. He'll be one to look out for, and that's poorly given away. That's a second poor giveaway, or careless giveaway by the Black Satellites, and unfortunately for the Lionceaux de la Teranga, they're unable to convert again. We're starting to see a dynamic that's a little bit concerning if you're a supporter of the Black Satellites. It's being a little bit reckless in their own half and against a side with the pedigree of Senegal. It's taking unnecessary risk perhaps, but especially with 0-0. Again, another poor giveaway. We're starting to see Senegal pick up possession high up on the pitch. Just a shame they're not able to match the quality of what we expect. Will be put back in play by Ibrahima Diallo, the fullback, or Lassana Traoré, excuse me. He's the left back who plays his club football, Diambars. Senegal qualified for this tournament by winning their West African Union Zone A championship. It's the second consecutive time they did so. They defeated Sierra Leone in the final. Sierra Leone, who are playing so well in this opening group stage phases. They started off, it was their first appearance, it's been their first appearance, and under their manager Mohamed Lamine Camara, they've been strong with belief. Momo Kamara scored a hat-trick against Egypt, the hosts, in their match day 2 encounter. Their match day 1 encounter ended in 0-0 draw against Zambia, but they were unfortunate not to get more from that. And then on match day 3, they defeated Tanzania. But Senegal defeated Sierra Leone in that final, that qualification. Both finalists were qualified nonetheless. And they're being led by their manager, Serine Salou Dia, who has experience winning under the youth tournaments, so to speak. He led Senegal to the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations title. A title that actually was won by certain players that are featuring tonight. Fallou Diouf was part of that team, the captain for the Lionceaux de la Teranga tonight. And that cross is easily scooped up by Mohamed Sissoko. The Amitié goalkeeper is gonna search for Manfai on a foot race, and Faye putting pressure, but he's not caught out of position of Fori McCarthy, the captain on the opposite end of the pitch. Difficult control by the number 19, Aziz. Spread out wide, but just came a little bit too slow. It was predictable. But Ghana doing well to hold on to possession. Good technique on that pass. It's going to be kept in bounds by Manuel Mensah. Can he get on his wheels? We know he has the pace, but it was more of a physical duel than a speedy one between him and Ibrahima Diallo. Aggressive defending. We're seeing a lot of physicality in this match, perhaps at the expense of seeing the ball move smoothly around. Able to serve. Both of these sides are very fast, very physical. The supporters here, the Black Satellites, are really making an atmosphere. We're hearing songs, chants, and the tempo of the drums. Ghana, however, they're returning to the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations. They've won it 4 times this tournament. They remain one of the most successful teams in the history of it. I believe it's only Nigeria who's won 7 times the tournament. So going into this competition, they remained claimed to be one of the favorites. They won it in 2021. However, Desmond Ofe did say that what matters as well is just qualification to the Under-20 World Cup, which will be played in Chile later on this year. I believe it's October. But this side, the Black Satellites, they have youthful exuberance, strong tactical foundation, which we're seeing. And they qualified via their WAFU Zone B championship, the West African Football Union. They drew with Togo, Benin in the group stages, secured wins over Niger and Côte d'Ivoire. It was actually Aziz, the number 19 here, who scored 2 goals in their qualification campaign against Niger. Jerry Afriye, who we haven't seen too much of, scored 5 goals in that qualification campaign. He's one to look out for tonight too. He's wearing the number 11 and is currently inside of the 18-yard box. Plays his club football in Spain for Lugo. And actually has 1 senior goal in his only senior appearance. Coincidentally, it was against a senior team of Niger, but Ghana would lose that game. Strong header by the number 6 of Senegal. Dauda Diong. But Jerry Afriyie, can he be an assister tonight? He is! Jerry Afriyie gets the assist! Beautiful pass! Oh, it's a shame because Senegal give it away in their own half and the Black Satellites pounce. Oh, wonderfully done by Emmanuel Mensah, who gets on his wheels. He tried to do so a little bit earlier on this half against Ibrahima Diallo, but there he had nobody in front of him, no defenders at least. Takes advantage of the space and a clean finish. Just gets it to the right of the goalkeeper. Oh, you never doubted him when he was put into space. What a distribution by Jerry Afriyie, of course. Let's see it again. Oh, it's a missed clearance, it's scuffed. And then Jerry Afriyie, all the composure in the world to just lay on a beautiful ball on a plate. And Emmanuel Mensah eats. Oh, it's beautiful. The technique, the execution, the belief in himself. As Zen Minofe says, the hunger of this Black Satellite side is on display tonight. And a wonderful celebration to match between him and Afriyie, similar to Cristiano Ronaldo and Marcelo during their Real Madrid days. For those of you with those sorts of memories. So the Black Satellites go up 1-0 in this match day 2 qualification, group stage match in Group C, and Senegal, who were looking a little bit lethargic going forward, were given opportunities to do much more, didn't take them, and their goalkeeper Mohamed Sissoko is beaten. It's a bit surprising, given that Senegal went on to win the Africa Cup of Nations by scoring, I believe it was 14 goals and conceding 0 in 2023. And now in their opening 2 group stage matches, they've already conceded 2. Well done by the offensive sector and the offensive unit. Emmanuel Mensah, Jerry Afriyie, of course Loris Afrifa, who's also involved in there. The defensive midfielder won a header. However, it was a bit of a gift. A scuffed clearance by Faliou Diouf, I believe it was. Hilary Hambaba blowing the whistle. That was an offense by number 12. I believe, excuse me. Yeah, Lassana Traoré, it was. Sana Traoré, 17 years of age. He also participated in the Africa Cup of Nations under-17 glorious campaign under Saliou Dia. However, it's important to note that when Senegal did win that Africa Cup of Nations tournament in 2023, they had such a talented group as well. Mamadou Lamine Camara, who currently plays his club football for AS Monaco, was leading the charge, scored in the final. I believe he also scored in the semi-final, a double against Tunisia. The final, they defeated Gambia 2-0. They have to watch out here, les Lionceaux de la Teranga. It's well defended that time, but they have to be alert. Those passes behind the back. Oh, it's for Ibrahima Dieng. Can he get the best of his keeper? It's a pity, the shot goes above and beyond the target. He did so well to tuck himself in between those 2 center backs. Ibrahima Dieng, the pass was marvelous from Yaya Diem. An absolute peach. We're seeing great deliveries so far in this match. The finishing was perfect for Ghana just a few moments ago. Not so perfect for the Lionceaux de la Teranga this time. And Dorival, hands in his head, understands that that was a big opportunity. Ibrahima Dieng, the ice peeking forward, 19 years of age. Should have done so much better there. He was expecting to probably do better. I was reading a report in the press before this match that he said that it's true that we're going to be focused on ourselves. Oh, he does well there, Ibrahima Dieng. Let's get back to that interview once this play develops. Yaya Diem is one-on-one, and he's going to win a corner. Calm defending from Dacosto Antwi. Dacosto Antwi, who's played and the senior level this season for the first time, the 18-year-old for Young Apostles. It's a Ghanaian club. It's an in-swinging cross from Diem, meets a teammate, and goalkeeper Asiako was perfectly positioned to capture that header from Mamfai, which was lacking a little bit of venom. Of course, the cross wasn't the most driven. It was more of a lofted cross with some curve. Fai could have done better, but he would have had to generate all the power himself. Not the easiest of skill. Dorival, nicknamed the Camavinga of Lyon. Pierre-Antoine Diatta Dorival. He's featured in their National 3 side, which is the reserve. He's going to be called upon to defend shortly. But actually, it's Tidiane Thiam who does excellently to extinguish the fire. And Faye will win a free kick, which will allow for the Lionceaux de la Teranga to reset with possession. Lots of credit has to be given to Tidiane Thiam. Defended well on that play. It's a long ball searching by Yaya Diem, who gets the best and maybe got a little bit carried away there in his dribble. He is a talent, however, Yaya Diem. Like I had said earlier, some reports coin him the Senegalese diamond. That was an audacious effort. Oh no, not another giveaway. It's gonna profit Jerry Afriyie, who's one-on-one with the keeper. He's gonna dribble him, he's gonna round him, but it's a little bit late. Lots of Senegalese have come back. And Mohamed Sissoko did excellently to prevent Jerry Afriyie from doubling the lead. Oh, another scare for Senegal, and they're doing it all to themselves. He was one-on-one, rounded the keeper, and it's not over yet. Afriyie back on call. Credit has to be given to Sissoko, who did well to not overcommit. Didn't, of course, in those situations, you see time and time again the forwards who are looking for a penalty or even do end up rounding the goalkeeper. Jerry Afriyie didn't do either. Fallou Diouf will calmly pass the ball back to his keeper. Just saved the side from going down 2-0. As we see possession stats, 60% are in favor for Ghana. As we get to the end of the opening quarter, or the first half of the first half. Senegal with 40% possession. Only one shot on target for Ghana to 3 for Senegal, but that one shot on target coming from the lovely left foot of Emmanuel Mensah, which punished a defensive lapse by les Lionceaux de la Teranga, but profited and benefited the Black Satellites in a big way, as they currently lead and would be even on points with the leaders of their group, Democratic Republic of Congo, who won their match earlier this evening against Central African Republic. See this chance again. Oh, and he slips on top of it. Sissoko, he does well to just make the angle wide and uncomfortable, and then didn't get too close, didn't stay too far either. Very experienced goalkeeping from the Amitié number 16. Afriyie, perhaps with his experience, could have done better. And look at that reflex save with the right ankle. Hopefully the Black Stars won't regret that one, or the Black Satellites, excuse me. Football is so often that if you don't put away your chances, you do allow for your opponents to return into this match. I'm not saying that Senegal will, but events change so quickly. We've seen it time and time again. Strong contact made with the elbow to Aziz. Hopefully he'll be all right to return to this match. Not exactly pleasant event to receive an elbow when you're up for a duel. Oh, this time Ghana commits an error themselves. Diem is on it. Plays it back to his fullback, Diallo. Diem just loves to get on his left foot. Excellently spotted by Da Costa Antwi. Read that play like a book. He had to, because if not, Ibrahima Dieng would have been alone and one-on-one on the box, and can get back to finally reading the quote of Ibrahima Dieng, who said that it's true, we don't know too much about our opponents of the day, we just have videos of them. This is their first time playing against Ghana, the second time that Ghana and Senegal face each other at the under-20 level and all time. The last time they did meet, it was a 2-0 victory in favor for Senegal. It was Youssouf Badji who scored 2 goals. Forward who now plays his club football in Denmark for our house. Good defending this time from Emmanuel Mensah. He almost allowed for Senegal to have a chance. It would be quite a feat to see Senegal defeated. They're already being led in their draw against Democratic Republic of Congo, 1-1 on match day 1. They were actually the team in the lead, and they let it go. But Senegal are unbeaten in their last 12 group stage matches. Their most recent group stage defeat was in 2015. Here comes the swinger, and that was to Nigeria. Strong header one, and there's a Senegalese player in the box. Oh, he just didn't get enough power behind the shot, Ibrahima Dieng. He's asking questions, however. Just didn't have the solution. He was completely forgotten. Didn't seem like he was offsides either. Like a fox in the box. That would have been a goal reminiscent of Filippo Inzaghi. I just didn't control it perfectly. You could see that he was caught between either chesting or the knee. Made contact with both in the end, and the ball didn't sit quite perfectly. That's a shame for the Lionceaux de Teranga, but relief for the Black Satellites. As for Ghana, although they're in their last 4 games against West African nations, they've only won once. They've done very well statistically in terms of how they play in their second group match. They have 7 wins. Oh, this time it might go into the back of the net. It doesn't. So unfortunate for the Lionceaux de la Teranga, and it was Cheikh Tidiane Thiam from the header. No, it wasn't. Excuse me. It was their own goal, their own player, Ofori McCarthy, who got in the way of his goalkeeper from punching the ball. Scenes during this opening 30 minutes. I'd say a lot about how this match has been going, but it has not been dull. Very fortunate for McCarthy. Well, the captain of the Black Satellites, who plays his club football in Albania. Has actually played 21 games at the senior level this season, just 20 years of age. The in-swinging corner. Goalkeeper is going to reach for it. Leaps into the air and makes sure he's the one to capture the ball. We haven't seen too much of Ghana's approach play since they scored, unfortunately. It would be nice to see the Black Satellites showcase their brand of offensive football. Oh, but a little bit of controversy there as Ibrahima Dieng is going to go to ground. He seemed to be the one to be alert to that back pass that was dangerous. He was picked, a basketball term. It seemed like a basketball move by number 14, Aaron Essel. Oh, that's an ambitious pass down the middle and down the heart of the Senegalese defense. Ghana hold on to possession. So we're seeing a little bit more of a direct style of play by the Black Satellites in their approach. Issa, can he combine with teammates? Struggles to do so. Based on what we've seen so far, we'll anticipate a long ball to come soon. Maybe to switch up this play. Yeah, exactly. Very clear. It's not effective this time. It's a bit too predictable. But here comes Senegal. They're not able to make the most of that counter-attacking spirit that they were showcasing just there. We haven't seen a lot of Pierre-Antoine Diatta d'Orival either. The Kamavinga of Lyon, 19 years of age, formed at, well, did his schooling football-wise at Dakar Sacré-Cœur. He's played 14 games in National 3 this season and even has participated in training sessions with the first team from February onwards. It's punted far, and Ibrahima Dieng seems to be chasing, loves to chase a ball, Ibrahima Dieng. And he's earned a throw-in, so it was not all for nothing. One thing for sure is that Ghana have been clinical. Their only shot on target, they've scored. Of course, Afriyie, perhaps his shot, or his opportunity, could have done better, but that was also a gift. And yeah, after 30 minutes of play, Manuel Mensah, the player to make the difference so far. He was served on a silver platter by Afriyie. Good 1-2, or a give and go, would you say, between Lassana Traoré. Early cross and floated a little too long. But on the case is Ibrahima Diallo, who sends a completely opposite technique of cross. Low driven, but ineffective. Struggling to see either side comfortable in a spell of possession. Perhaps a testament to the pressing. That's Dorival, who just mentioned earlier, the Olympique Lyonnais player. He has the ambitions of playing for their senior level sooner than later. The comparisons drawn between Eduardo Camavinga, the France international, and Real Madrid midfielder, who's won the Champions League. It's high praise. And that's what that tackle that he showed there, that's the caliber of the name that he was given, or the nickname that he's been given. If he can live up to it to an extent. He has the look already. And he does seem to be also quite two-footed. Thiam scuffed his pass there. Diem against Mensah, number 7 against number 7. Mensah keeping possession by passing it back to his center back. Before the tournament started, Serigne Saliou Dia, the manager of Senegal, had participated in a ceremony with the team to receive the national flag. Interviewed by the press, he said it was an honor to feel the full support from the Ministry of Sports. They go into the competition with humility, work, and sacrifice. If they were to be eliminated from the second match, it would be clearly disappointment. Senegal are a side that are used to shining at the brightest stages of continental football in the recent years. They won the Africa Cup of Nations with Sadio Mane at the helm. The Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, and even this edition of the Under-20 tournament in 2023. course, when they participated in the World Cup in 2023, which they qualified for, they were eliminated immediately after the group stages, lost to Japan, drew 1-1 to Israel, and drew to Colombia. They would finish bottom of the group. Here's Opoku. Opoku's gonna get it back. He's forgotten at the right. A little bit of a defensive lapse from the Lionceaux de la Teranga on that play. And then aggressive ushering off the ball by Ousmane Konaté. Smart touch from Aaron Essel, ensuring that that long ball would just go out for a throw-in without overextending himself. Yeah. Reminiscent to a very strong defending. Like a bouncer at a private event. Does well there, the number 9, to ensure the ball stays in play and in possession of the Black Satellites. And they win a foul. Hilary Hambaba blowing his whistle in favor of the Black Satellites, who are handling and managing their lead comfortably. Possession stats have rebalanced a little bit more in favor for Senegal. Oh, that deflected pass by the captain. It's caught on, and Dorivad is late to make that challenge. Oh yeah, he's gonna collect a yellow card, and turning in pain is Abdulaziz Issa. Hopefully he'll be able to, won't require medical assistance. Yeah, it came so fast, Dorivad. Intentions were to win the ball, but just late. Frustrating, but a deserved and warranted yellow card. It's dangerous to make contact with the boot of a player, especially with the studs. Desmond Ofe was a winner of gold at the 2023 African Games. He credited his players, placing an emphasis on the hunger. It's a word he uses so often to describe his players. He said, if you look at the red line of the matches we played, the intensity we played with was earmarked by hunger. Every player we pick has something that we are looking for, so it's not so difficult to adjust. As you see, he's very vocal on his coaching box, Desmond Ofe. And the supporters really bringing the positive vibes in the atmosphere at the Suez Stadium. The Suez Stadium, located in Suez, Egypt. It opened in 1990. It was actually one of the venues for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, which was used for 8 games, including a Ghana victory over Guinea-Bissau, 2-0 for those of you watching who kept up with the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Jordan Ayew and Thomas Partey, the goal scorers, current Premier League stars. Chested by Mensah, who is doing everything possible to have a star game, whether it's offensively or defensively. He's been everywhere, so involved in the gameplay. An interesting hybrid position. He's not exactly a left back, not exactly a left winger. Oh, risk from the Black Satellites. And Faye is on it. Oh, there was a better pass to be played to Diem on the opposite end of the pitch. He's finally going to get onto a Diem, and we know he's going to cut onto his left foot. It's obvious. It's his preferred one. Is he going to send it across? Just has to be a little bit less predictable. Yeah, Diem. That's. Of course, there's some left-footed, wonderful players that have played throughout the years, especially in this competition. Mohamed Salah, one of them. And you do know that they're going to be getting onto their left foot, but they disguise it better. saying all players should become like Mohamed Salah either. Difficult to accomplish, but is a role model and a player that did feature in the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, along with other stars. Notably for Ghana, there was Michael Essien, former Chelsea and Lyon man, as well as Real Madrid. Yaya Touré also played in this tournament. Patson Daka, Benny McCarthy, just to name a few. This was the goal, I believe. There was a great header and then a scuffed clearance by the captain, Fadou Diouf. The pass by Jerry Afriye, perfectly dosed into the path of the sprinting Emmanuel Mensah. And he just wasn't going to miss from that distance and from that angle. Clearly prepared for the occasion, and he rose. Simply caught from Mohamed Sissoko. As there's 5 minutes left in this first half, it's been a tightly contested affair. Senegal responded quite well after going down 1-0. They created some opportunities, had perhaps the most shots on target. Nothing to truly put in danger the goalkeeper, Asiako. But nonetheless, it's the Black Satellites who are provisionally taking the 3 points today. Yeah, that's one way to resume how Senegal's offense has looked. It's been like that. Good passes, finding players that do have little pockets of space, more or less, sometimes more, like Ibrahima Dieng, who was found behind the whole defensive line, forgotten by the defenders. But just not exactly executing for that final finish. Good 1-2 between Opoku. It's going to be a shot from distance. It would have to be very, very special to score from that range. That was ambitious from Abdulaziz Issa. The instruments being heard around the Suez Stadium. Of course, the Senegal side is quite young. The squad it's got an average age of around 18 and a half years. Perhaps a little bit younger than their opponents on average age, but experience nonetheless. Can it be? Oh, it's a lovely dribble. Oh, didn't spill it, Sissoko. Oh, conflict between Afriye and Sissoko on the clearance, and he might pick up a booking there, Afriye. That'll be the second yellow card for the Black Satellites, and an avoidable one. You can see that Afriye was trying to prevent Sissoko from playing out quickly. Sissoko reacted aggressively, but was held back from either punting or throwing the ball. And Hilary Hambaba, not too many complaints from his teammate Jerry Afriye as he collects that yellow card. And his intentions were successful as he slowed down Senegal's attack, but coming at a cost. Jerry Afriye, not one of the two players who are at risk of suspension. That would only be Da Costa Antwi and Dennis Marfo. Dennis Marfo picked up a yellow card, so he will be suspended for the next game. Getting louder and louder, the supporters of the Black Satellites, as the clock ticks closer to the end of the first half. Lots of positives to look for in this performance by the team in yellow. free kick now. One that was perhaps conceded out of frustration by Senegal, who haven't connected and linked with each other. Something that we saw a little bit against the Democratic Republic, the Central African Republic on match day 1. Coach Saliou Dia is going to have to make some adjustments at the halftime. He did so against the Central African Republic, and on match day 1 it ended 0-0 after 45 minutes of play. They would open the scoring at the 48th minute, but after making 2 substitutions. Oh, the throw gets over everyone and finds Aziz. Is he going to try to just win a corner? Seems like he's playing as if it's the 90th minute, but at the 45th. Interesting decision, but a choice. And they're really showing out the fans. It's a party in the stands here in Egypt. Scenes we love to see. You can only see these Africa Cup of Nations tournaments. Of course, all these players are 20 and under, cutoff being January 1st, 2005. But what a moment it is in your young career to represent your nation at an international tournament. The pride, the honor, to have your family, clubs watching. Can Senegal equalize in the dying minutes of this first half? He squandered that opportunity, and he will not take too much time to rush himself, Julius Asako. Oh, good signs of sportsmanship. We're seeing Ghanaian supporters with Senegalese flags. Dorival flicked on. And here comes Diem. Not getting the best of his counterpart there. Diem slowed down the play. And that's unfortunate because it just didn't seem like he was too confident there. The number 7. Lassana Traoré loves to go forward, Lassana Traoré. When they won the Africa Cup of Nations under 17, he grabbed an assist and he sent in a good ball in. But up to the occasion was Julian Asako. Will even take more time, and surely that'll be the last bit of offensive play of the half. Hilary Hambaba blows his whistle for the final time of this opening half of match day 2 between the Black Satellites and the Lionceaux de la Teranga. It's been an engaging affair, physical for sure. It was a mistake by the defense of Senegal, which offered an opportunity for the Black Satellites, one that they took. They didn't need a second time of asking. Emmanuel Mensah converting from close range. A cross-footed effort with his left foot, served by Jerry Afriye. From that moment on, Senegal reacted with a few efforts of their own, but nothing to seriously threaten the side managed by Desmond Ofe. Coach Saliou Dia of Senegal has some adjustments to make, because as things stand, it does look like Ghana are a little bit too much in control, too comfortable in the lead, perhaps benefiting from the home support as well that it seems like they have here at the Suez Stadium. Halftime stats, 55% possession to 44, 4 shots to 6, 4 on target for Senegal to 2 for Ghana. 70% accuracy in passing to 62% accuracy for Senegal. Very low passing accuracy, perhaps also due to the physicality of this encounter. Very strong duels. 1 corner to 3, 1 offside to 0, 9 fouls to 7, and 2 yellow cards were brandished to Ghana from Marfo, who will be missing the next match, and Jerry Afriye, while the yellow card for Senegal was picked up by Pierre-Antoine Dorival. opening half of the Suez Canal Stadium took place between two sides that were equal on points heading into match day 2 in this Group C encounter. The Lionceaux de la Teranga of Senegal taking on the Black Satellites of Ghana. Senegal defending champions in this under-20 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations tournament. However, it would be the Black Satellites to get started offensively speaking. Dispatching the ball wide to Abdulaziz Issa, who with his left-footed effort was searching for goal, but not finding the target. Setting the tone, however, for the intentions. A free kick from distance would be taken by Fadiou Diouf, the captain, trying to be involved more on the offensive end. However, he'd be much more involved in this play, scuffing a clearance which would benefit the Black Satellites. Jerry Afriye finding Emmanuel Mensah in space, who comfortably found the back of the net. Of course, how could he miss? Served so well by his forward. Senegal would do well to respond, however, would not execute completely to the fullest of their potential. That would be Ibrahima Dieng, who was found in space. You could see what he was trying to go for, a lob. And then Senegal again creating problems for themselves. Jerry Afriye would find himself one-on-one with Mohamed Sissoko, who did not overcommit, kept the distance, and then made a save with his right ankle. Textbook from an experienced goalkeeper, Jerry Afriye, squandering perhaps the second best chance of the match. And then they would almost do damage to themselves. Afori McCarthy, his header, beating his goalkeeper, Siako. Luckily, wouldn't cross the line and find the back of the net. Ghana would go in leading 1-0 against the defending champion Senegal and provisionally put themselves in a very good space for qualification to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the second half of this closing match of the Matchday 2 encounters in the 2025 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations hosted in Egypt. If you missed out on the first 45 minutes, it's Ghana who took the lead against the defending champion Senegal. A goal scored at the 15th minute by Emmanuel Mensah, a lovely executed move that was gifted, so to speak, by Fadiou Diouf, the captain of Senegal. It's a little bit too pedestrian in his clearance, completely scuffed it, which allowed for the Black Satellites to open the scoring and position themselves ideally. Substitutions made will be number 13, Dia, to come on. The forward. He'll be immediately put into the thick of the action. As well as Clayton to come on. Dondi plays his club football for Aris. Controlled directly by Abdourahmane Dia. And exiting the pitch will be Faye. So in the opening 45 minutes, Ghana had more of possession, 55% to around 45 for Senegal, but nonetheless didn't look the most threatening for the greater part of the half. Senegal perhaps had the best chances and more shots on target, but we're sloppy, that's for sure. And Senegal were the ones that were the most clinical, which is what it comes down to, and what both sides anticipated it would come down to. Coming into this match, both sides had drawn their opening matches of the tournament. 1-1 draws. Strong challenge from the fullback there, Ibrahima Diallo. Studs were showing right in front of the manager. Desmond Ofe couldn't have had a better view of it, the Black Stars coach. The goal scorer suffering on the end of that challenge. And hovering over the ball, it's Loris Afifa. But it's been taken. Oh, it's deflected only into the path of the goalkeeper, who smothers the ball simply. Long, long punt into the direction of Clayton Dondi. Challenge there. Hilary Hambaba blow his whistle. This time it's Abdelaziz Issa who goes down, and it's the other fullback on the opposite end, Lassana Traoré, who commits the offense. Both fullbacks involved in fouls in these opening stages of this second half. Such a contested match, obviously the under 20 level. The physicality is quite high. Challenges are crunching, strong commitments, sometimes overcommitments. We saw in the first half, Pierre-Antoine Diatta Dorival came in with such speed and velocity for a challenge. And perhaps it's been at the cost or at the expense of seeing a little bit of technical football in this game. It's been dominated a little bit by physicality. Long balls we're seeing, and contested duels, aerial battles. But of course, this is the group stages, and what matters the most is getting the 3 points. Ghana, who have a heritage of winning this tournament, they've done so 4 times. If we look at their titles, 2021 is their most recent. Senegal, the reigning champions, but 3 times runners-up. They have experience of their own. We're seeing a little bit of a choppy beginning to this second half. The physicality, which I just mentioned, at the expense of the quality of football. This time it's Senegal who are going to be winning free kicks. We're winning one now. And Jerry Afriyie has to be careful. He already entered the booking in the first half and would risk missing the next game if he picked up a red card. But not only missing the next game, he would abandon his partners and put them at a numerical disadvantage if he were to be expelled. It's the goal scorer, the only goal scorer of this tournament, Cheikh Tidiane Thiam, who's overlooking the free kick. It's short. It's met by a teammate, and it was just always lobbing over the crossbar. It was Ibrahima Dieng who was at the conclusion of several offensive plays created by les Lionceaux de la Teranga in the first half. Didn't have the perfect finishing touch. And we're seeing that now he's going to be playing a little bit behind Abdourahmane Dia in a 10 role. Senegal doing, Ghana doing well to break the lines. Going with pace, but that's only to the advantage of Lassana Traoré. Making a textbook slide tackle. Getting all ball, none of the opponent. Thwarting the attack from developing. Tracking by Pape Daouda Diong there, the number 6 for Senegal. He plays his club football for RC Strasbourg-Alsace in Ligue 1. He's actually featured at the senior level and scored against Paris Saint-Germain at the Parc des Princes. Here's Thiam, the goal. We know he has goals in him. Gives it out wide. And that time it was Clayton Dondy, the substitute, getting involved. Lacked conviction with the finishing shot, the Ari swinger. And it was always going to be a simple save without that much power behind that shot. But it's better from Senegal. They're producing, and they're using short passes, which is something we didn't see a lot in the first half. Surely the manager, Saliou Dia, couldn't have been too pleased with what he saw in the opening 45 minutes. Not exactly the brand of football that they're known for. Just lacked a little bit of that creativity that Dia emphasizes. Although he is a manager that is plotted. He has a background in youth development and a proven track record in Senegalese football. He's won the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations with Senegal as well. And that was the goal there, scored by the number 7, Emmanuel Mensah, in the celebration. It was cheers on the bench as well. Desmond Ofe, the 37-year-old young manager who is also the assistant coach of the Black Stars, the senior team of Ghana. Commanding header by the captain Fadou Diouf to stop that play from continuing on. Mensah, the goal scorer. Interestingly positioned in Manuel Mensah. I touched upon it in the first half, but not exactly a fullback, not exactly a left winger. More of the, how do you say, old school sort of left midfield position, which we don't see so much, but it's also because it's so difficult to play. You have to have the capacity to attack and defend with quality. He's delivering tonight. Surely bolstered with the confidence of that early goal, but even prior to scoring was always looking to take his counterpart on one-on-one. Here's Loris Afrifa. Doesn't pull the trigger on the cross, Loris Afrifa. Instead, he's going to take his time and play it back to McCarthy as captain. They're going to work it on now on the opposite end of the opponent's half. And Senegal all pinned into their own 50 yards. Will they be able to break out? That seems like a small victory for the Black Satellites. They hold on to possession. Here's Mensah. Afriye. Oh, it's a great touch from Opoku. Sidestepped, and it was, again, a little bit too safe of an option from Opoku. Plays his club football at Zulte Waregem in Europe. Joined from the Ghanaian club Greek Corinthian. He's a high-value player, just 19 years of age, the number 12 for Ghana. One to look out for in the future, that's for sure. Of course, academies in Ghana, they go back very far. They were also the first African nation to win a FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Ghana. They did so in 2009. Here's Yaya Diem searching for Clayton Dondi on the opposite end of the pitch. Dondi's gonna have to chase for it. Keeps it in bounds, does well to do so. He needs support. Lassana Traoré, can he adjust a quality cross? It's cut out. And Ghana are gonna launch it forward in hopes that Jerry Afriye can salvage something. Except it's just a foul. Has to be careful there, Afriye. That wasn't a yellow card offense, but you won't be given unlimited opportunities to commit fouls on a yellow card. But yes, in 2009, Ghana, they were led by the forward Dominic Adia. Dominic Adia, who was famous for scoring 8 goals in that tournament, but almost became infamous, as in that famous match between Ghana and Uruguay at the senior level at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, which went to penalties, a thrilling encounter where Asamoah Gyan missed a penalty at the final moments of extra time. Luis Suarez handling a ball that should have crossed the line. And then at the penalty shootout, Gyan would convert, but Adia would not. I believe it was also John Mensah who didn't. And Ghana would not be the first African side to reach a semi-final of a World Cup. That would actually be Morocco, who did so in 2022 by eliminating Spain and Portugal along their elimination phase journey. But Ghana have academies like Right to Dream, which was launched in 1999. It's been successful. Dreams FC, Cheat FC, Vision FC, these are clubs that compete locally but are known for their scouting pipelines. They produce players like Mohamed Kudus, plays at West Ham, Kamaldeen Suleimana, and even the Ayew brothers. Here they come forward, the Black Satellites. Afriye is one-on-one. Is he gonna pass it to a teammate? And it's just behind everyone. Aziz was lingering. It's not over just yet, but it seems like Senegal have braved the storm just a little bit. However, the Black Satellites are continuing on, but yes, he's offside. Seemed like he was a little bit too isolated to be onside there. Manuel Mensah. Afriye beat the offside trap. And I thought he perhaps could have gone for a goal. Maybe a little too altruistic. And it was behind. Of course, it would put the ball into a dangerous area, not completely at fault. The 18-year-old Afriye, who plays his club football in Spain. Perhaps it was the right thing to do in terms of collective discipline, but maybe could have been a little bit more selfish there. Afriye. Senegal as well, they're also known for their academies. They trace some back to the early 2000s, like Académie Génération Foot, which was formed by former player Madi Touré. Academy Génération Foot, which has formed prolific players like Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, Papi Cissé, many more as well. Partnered with a club such as FC Metz in France, which allows them to move players. Of course, one of the winners of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations was also a product of Génération Foot, if I'm not mistaken, or at least played at Metz, Lamine Camara. Oh, they're going forward again, Jerry Afriyie. He's on the left. Doesn't have too many options within the box. He's going to wait for support from the midfield. Great tracking back from Ibrahima Dieng, who actually plays in one of the academies of Senegal, Pikine, as does Yaya Diem, who won't win a throw-in. Excellent defending from the Black Satellites. Center back Dacosta Antwi. But alongside Génération Foot, you have Dion Bars FC, which was founded by internationals like Patrick Vieira and Bernard Lama. You have the Paris Saint-Germain Academy as well, led by technical directors and former Paris Saint-Germain player Alioune Touré. Ousmane Ndiaye leading the physical over there as well. So both of these countries, these West African nations, which are powerhouses at the under-20 level and and even the senior level of African football, counted on their youth systems. And here's Clayton Dondi. Oh, his touch takes it away from the goal. It's a shame, but he's going to look for the overlapping run of Lassana Traoré. He uses it as a decoy. It's going to be a shot from distance. Just never got his body positioning right. Laptauda Diong, that's a shame. Had he scored that goal from distance, it would have been one to remember. Perhaps one, as they say, one to hang it up in the Louvre. Especially from the foot of a player who was born in Dakar. Had trials at Chelsea Football Club, Diong, but then signed a 5-year deal with RC Strasbourg. Speaking of Patrick Vieira, he's drawn comparisons to him. Wouldn't have been exactly proud with that effort, but here's Dondi again. He's been stirring trouble since being introduced at the halftime. Quite a positive substitution made by Saliou Dia. Oh, he's going to get onto his left foot. Yaya Diem. The one-touch cross. The towering header from Abdourahmane Dia. Frustration. You can just see how he's reacting to that one. Abdourahmane Dia plays his club football at Darussalam. As for Ghana, the side that we're seeing today, several of their players play in Europe, all called for this under-20 tournament. Emmanuel Mensah, for instance, the goal scorer, plays at Sogndal in Norway. There'll be changes for the Black Satellites. Desmond Ofe has seen enough from Joseph Opoku, put on a great shift, participating in this lead. He'll make way for the number 20 to come on, Abdul Hakim Suleimana, who is man of the match on match day 1. So he'll find his way in the midfield, and then the goal scorer on match day 1, Aziz, he'll make way as well. Immediately called to action, Abdulaziz Suleimana. Hakim Suleimana, excuse me. A little bit of an uncontrolled clearance by the captain, and Ibrahima Dieng goes to ground, turning in pain, but Clayton Dondi is going to continue on with the play. It's a low cross that was delivered, and Ibrahima Dieng still wallowing in pain, calling for medical help. Looks serious. Was it contact to his neck? It was a high boot. Oh, and he does receive the cleats of Afori McCarthy right in around the area of the Adam's apple. That does not look comfortable. Dangerous bit of defending from Afori McCarthy. Completely did not master his clearance there. stayed on the ground and wasn't getting ready to get up there. Not sure what the medical teams can do for such an injury. It's maybe just time. Has to go down to feel a little bit more relief. But Senegal under-20 have reached 3 of the last 5 Africa Cup of Nations finals. They won the title in 2023, and their players, although most of them on the pitch today or tonight are still playing in Senegalese teams, they do find themselves traveling to Europe and competing at the highest levels. Sadio Mane, who was in the runnings for the FIFA Ballon d'Or more than a couple of times and won the Champions League with Liverpool, is one of the best illustrations of the quality of their youth development. Just when Souleymane was getting ready to go on a sprint, called back for a foul. Ofe, the manager of Ghana, was safely captured by Julian Asiako. It seems like all his saves have been, he's made all his saves look easy, the goalkeeper for Ghana this evening. 20 years of age, 1.88 m. He is a tall figure, not the tallest on the pitch, but makes himself look so big and leaves. Oh, excellent dribbling from the number 9, Afrifa. Beautiful stuff to win some important yards and break lines. The cross is deep, but it's going to be met by Mensah, who's now finding himself on the right side. So versatile he is, Emmanuel Mensah. Wasn't able to make contact with the cross sent in by Maxwell Azafobke. But chased down. Oh, perhaps some cramp. A little bit of skill there from the captain, Fadou Diouf. Still confident despite, and that was the moment where he broke out and escaped all the pressure, Loris Afrifa. Speaking of players that play their club football at the highest levels, Loris Afrifa does so, but not at the senior level. He's currently signed to FK Sturm Graz, but in Poland, one of the powerhouses of the Polish First Division, known for his discipline. But he played in 8 UEFA Youth League games. Yeah, let's see. He wouldn't have been offsides had the ball been ahead of him. Difficult. Of course, it has to be pinpoint precise across. That's when you realize so many players make it look easy, but it really is difficult to send in a perfect delivery across the face of the box. And that's another problem for the Senegalese management. The Lions sur la Teranga are going to be losing a player that they didn't expect to be losing at this juncture. They'll be calling on to number 11, Amidou Badji, to come on and make an impact. Yaya Diem, that'll be all from him. The left-footed winger who was pretty much contained on that right side by Dakosa Antwi and Emmanuel Mensah when he was there. It's interesting seeing Emmanuel Mensah shift to that right wing to make room for Maxwell Azafobke. Just goes to show the flexibility and the versatility of the players that Desmond Ofe has chosen. He brings a modern tactical discipline to this Ghana side. Guided them to gold at the 2024 African Games. And it's true that this style of football, I mean, it's been a little bit too direct for the neutral, in my opinion, at times. But the way that players are positioned on the pitch It's dynamic, it causes problems, and allows for defenses to be put in uncomfortable situations. But they've also not exposed themselves, that's important. Ghana have not really faced too many dangers and threats, especially coming up against the title holders. We'll see how they deal with this corner kick. As mentioned, Pape Daouda Diong is 1.93 meters. He's a tall figure. There he is wearing the number 6. Number 13, Abdourahmane Dia, is also a target to look for. But it's well defended by the captain, who's having such a good second half, I have to say. The pass was too predictable on that counter-attack, and Thiam is running into space, but it's going to be thwarted by SL. Well done by Aaron SL. Plays his club football, not in Europe, but in North Texas, in the Major League Soccer Pro Next League. Of course, he's on loan from a Scottish side, St. Johnstone. The supporters of Ghana still so faithful. Oh, could this be? What a tackle. Is that another game-saving tackle by Afori McCarthy? He has been immense in this second half. Absolutely immense defending from the captain of Ghana. Because Abdourahmane Dia was almost just on the outside of the 6-yard box. And only the goalkeeper to beat, but the tackle of Afori McCarthy, timely. Deep breaths from Tidiane Thiam. He knows that there's only 20 minutes left in this match, as do everybody on the pitch, as does everyone on the pitch, and here in the stadium watching in Egypt. The implications this could mean: Senegal would be left on 1 point, would be in 3rd place. Democratic Republic of Congo would be in 1st on 4 points. Ghana tied on points, but only behind due to goal differential, unless they're able to increase their lead. Oh, incredible, good, outstanding pressure from Afori McCarthy again. And then another defensive. I have to say, he has been very impressive in this throughout this match, but in the second half, he's been the star player. Defenders don't often get the credit that they deserve. And Afori McCarthy has been immense. And that'll be a yellow card brandished to Didier Nasako for time wasting. Silly, given that the time could be added on in the end. But it does cut the momentum. There is an impact in delaying a set piece. Hoisted forward. Suleimana at the duel. That's contested. Will be able to put their foot on the ball. That's Senegal charging. Safe into the gloves of Asiako. And finally, Saliou Dia shouting instructions, needs to encourage, because as of right now, Senegal are in 3rd place in that group stage and are not qualified to the quarterfinals by any means. They'll be just in front of Central African Republic, and they'll have a final showdown against the Democratic Republic of Congo. There's still hope, of course, but it's an uncomfortable position to be in. It'll be win or go home on match day 3. A draw would not suffice. However, if they are able to pull a goal back today, they'll have a little bit more breathing room, but of course that's not the desired result, nor is it what they were expecting or claiming in the press going into this tournament. Just doesn't seem like Salou Dia has the answers for this tactical setup put in place by Desmond Ofe. Senegal just looking a little bit lethargic, a little bit uninspired. It's seldom have we seen them combine and string 3-4 dangerous passes, or even some dribbling that has really rendered and imbalanced this Ghana setup. Ghana just seems a little bit better prepared, if I may. Yeah, yawns for Suleimana. I may say it all, it's not been the most inspired and creative outing for Senegal. And the Black Satellites doing everything they needed to do to get those points. You thought about that acrobatic clearance, Denis Marfo, but if he had made contact and missed the ball, he would have picked up a second yellow card. Have to be careful. There's a few players on this pitch that are on a yellow card for Ghana, none on the pitch for Senegal who are on a booking. Again, another clearance by McCarthy. He's going to be called upon, McCarthy. He's beaten to the ball this time. And the acrobatic effort by Ibrahima Dieng doesn't sting the gloves by any means, but he's able to hit the target. Ibrahima Dieng, who's nicknamed Paoletta for his clinical finishing. That would have hit the back of the net. Would have been almost more reminiscent of Ibrahimovic, another Paris Saint-Germain legend. Ibrahima Dieng really is a constant threat. He's tried to get on the end of so many balls, and he has, just hasn't been clinical today. Asiako has to be careful, can't hold on to the ball for too long, or else he'll be one of the few goalkeepers to collect 2 yellows for time wasting. He does make sure that it's dispatched. And finally, there'll be changes. That'll be all that we'll see from Abdulaziz Issa. He'll make way for Hayford Adouboahen. Player who plays for Cheetah FC, one of those academies that I had mentioned that are instrumental in forming some of the best, brightest talents. He'll be wearing the number 23. And then the goal scorer, Emmanuel Mensah. He can come off to a strong ovation. Did the job, Emmanuel Mensah, on the defensive and the offensive end. And he'll make way for Andrews Ajabeng. Back to the goal is Joseph Afriye. He's pressed. Fortunately, his teammates are well positioned to hold on to possession, and lovely movement from Afrifa. Again, winning precious seconds on the clock. For the neutral, maybe a little bit of a frustrating match to watch. Ghana seem to be in just managing their lead, comfortable with that 1-0 advantage. Positioning themselves perfectly. It's as if they were anticipating this to happen. Their preparation, can't fault it. It seems like it's been good enough. Must be something to do with that hunger that Desmond Ofe mentioned so often in his pre-match press conferences. That hunger to win. And as Afrifa receives some medical help for that challenge, we can have a look at the supporters who are having a party in the stands here at the Suez Stadium. Instruments, dance moves, colorful outfits. It does seem like Ghana and their supporters are putting on a show. Some chatting and some perhaps banter between Ghana and Senegalese players, awaiting for this free kick to be taken. It's going to be taken by the substitute. He's going to get it back. Boahen. Can he adjust a good cross? It's deflected. Afriyie perhaps able to capitalize. And now, oh, it's a poorly distributed ball by Abdourahmane Dia. Had to do better there. Didn't put his teammate Badji in a position to continue on with that attack. That's a shame. The play will reset. Oh, that's a pass right down the heart of the Ghanaian midfield and nobody to answer. Perhaps an effort. Dondi passing it back to Dieng. Oh, unable to combine. Suleimana, great track back. Finally starting to see Senegal show some urgency in their attacks. It all starts with those passes down the middle of the pitch where they're able to expose a little bit of space in the Ghanaian midfield. It's played wide to Amidou Badji. He's one-on-one. Can he showcase some skill? He does. It's a lofted cross. It's going to meet the header. And what we saw in the first half, we see again. Just a lofted cross that does not have enough power to it. And it leaves for the attacker to have to generate it all on his own. Ibrahima Dieng failing to do so. And supporters seem to be loving that. They're happy that Ghana are still in the lead, however. Dieng has missed so many chances, and that'll be all we'll be seeing from him this evening. Dieng coming off. It'll be number 5, Sarr. Omar Sarr, who plays his club football in Diambars. Gomis making his first appearance of the tournament. So is it kitchen sink time? Does Senegal have to overcommit numbers going forward at the risk of perhaps conceding a second goal? Will they contend themselves? Of course, a defeat today does not mean that they are eliminated. There will still be hope. They'll have to win against the Democratic Republic of Congo in all cases. Whether they draw or they lose, a victory is essential. Yellow card given to Maxwell Azafobke. Not exactly sure if it was because he wasted time or if he was going to take the throw in while there was going to be a substitution to be made. I believe the substitution was made. It seemed like number 25 was getting ready, Joseph Aidou, to come on. Yeah, there he is, Joseph Aidou. Not exactly sure I saw who he came out for. I believe it was Dennis Marfo. I could be wrong. No, it wasn't Dennis Marfo. I believe it's Lawrence Afrifa. So Joseph Aidou, the midfielder who plays his club football in Romania, will finish off the match in the middle of the pitch. Making his first appearance in this tournament. Long free kick expected to be going right into the gloves of Mohamed Sissoko. Not the most ambitious offensive approach play showcased by Ghana in this second half. Of course, they don't need to expose themselves too much. It's more Senegal that were tasked with having to equalize, but they haven't lived up to the task. They've come up against a very strong Black Satellites team composed of players that play their club football throughout Europe, that are united, seem to fit and match the criteria that Desmond Ofe has designed with his technical team. And they're going to be a force if they're able to get the 3 points today and qualify to the quarterfinals. They're looking like a solid team to beat. They're physical, they have speed, and they know when to finish as well. Today they scored their second goal in as many matches. However, I do suggest you keep up with the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations, because there's other sides that are looking very good. Teams like Morocco, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, they'll be forces to reckon with throughout the rest of this tournament. And to keep up with the action, you can go on the CAF.tv YouTube channel or the CAF Online Instagram account. Tomorrow, Zambia will take on Tanzania in the match day 4 encounter. The end of the match day 3 encounter, excuse me, and then match day 4, Sierra Leone will take on South Africa. Sierra Leone, the breakout side, who in 3 matches are undefeated, the goal differential of 4. They're top of their Group A, which include hosts Egypt, South Africa, Zambia, and Tanzania. Group B, Morocco currently leading, tied on points with Nigeria, but Tunisia are in the mix. Kenya, unfortunately, already eliminated, it seems, 4th place. And then in this Group C, with 4 teams, Democratic Republic of Congo are leading, tied 1 point with Ghana, Senegal in 3rd, but tied on points with Central African Republic, who are 4th. Disappointment on the faces of the bench of Senegal, as you're able to see there just a few moments ago. They haven't shown their best face. They haven't dazzled. Far from it, actually. They've mostly disappointed. And in conceding that goal, it was almost of their own doing. Dia committing a foul there. Such a large frame. Abdourahmane Dia. Also featured for around 15 minutes on match day 1, coming off the bench. Got to play a full 45 in this second half, but didn't make contact. Interesting to see the Senegalese player picking at the forehead of SL. Yeah, it's his right elbow that makes contact directly with the face of Aaron SL as they went up for the duel. It seems like they both missed the ball on top of it. There's been a little bit of clumsy challenges in this match. We've seen a lot of long ball football, players going to ground. It's been a bit theatrical at times as well. The supporters, however, at the Suez Canal, as the Suez Stadium, have been excellent. Hear them. Even seemed like the goalkeeper, Asiako, had a little peek at the supporters in the stand there. Must offer that little boost of energy, something that perhaps Senegal lacked this evening. Don't seem like they have the same amount of support in the stadium. Senegal being a side that, known as the Lionceaux de la Teranga, or the Lions de la Teranga, they're a very rhythmic country. They thrive when some music also in their favor. They've been missing out on some home support in this tournament in the opening 2 games. Not to say it's the main reason, of course, all credit has to be given to this very solid performance displayed by the Black Satellites, but that is perhaps a chance to be given. The header is not won, it's not dealt with fully, and there's a throw-in, and you can just see the frustration on Gideos Asiako, the goalkeeper of Ghana, not impressed by how his side allowed for that chance to be created out of what seemed like a non-threatening cross. frustrating. Abdourahmane Dia, he's such a target to aim for in terms of crosses. I thought he would have been searched for. Doesn't make the most of his flick from the throw. Three consecutive headers, finds Abdou Badji. Just never got behind that cross. And is this antics from Gideos Asiako, who's already been booked for a yellow card? He's gone to ground, calling for medical support shortly. Oh no, he's back on his feet. And there'll be 6 minutes of added time, surely to compensate for all the stoppages. There's been quite a few linked to injuries and also a little bit of time wasting. 2 yellow cards given out by referee Hilary Hanbaba in this match. Both the Ghanaian players for time wasting. So Senegal, who are unbeaten in their last 12 group stage matches, are about to lose for the first time in 13 games in the group stages. They've also scored in each of their last 15 group stages. This is an actual feat that we may be witnessing, a historical moment. Oh, it's a shame that they couldn't cement and crown their performance with a second goal. The Black Satellites, the pass just got away from the run. So Senegal would be disappointing in terms of history. They would be letting down and ending an unbeaten streak, as well as a streak of where they scored non-stop for 15 games. Their last goalless game was in 1995, 30 years ago, against Cameroon. It was 0-0, not even a defeat. Here comes Clayton Dandy, did so well to charge through and soldier on the challenges. Eventually pushed to the ground, and he wins a free kick in a central position. Could that be the lifeline? Could that be? And it's the captain, Afori McCarthy, who's having a near flawless performance. Could that foul be the one to shift the outcome of this match? Also, in terms of history, the last time Ghana played against Senegal, Senegal emerged victorious 2-0 in 2019. Who is going to be tasked with taking this free kick? These supporters don't seem to be too concerned. More focus on the dance routine, which is and the singing and dancing, which has been non-stop throughout these 90 minutes. Much credit, much plaudits have to be given to the Black Satellites fans. They've been outstanding. Okay, time to focus on the pitch because Senegal have a chance to equalize in added time. Seems like there's 3 players around the ball. It's shot on target. And Asiako makes it look easy, like he's done for most of his saves this match. Receives the thanks of his players. He bails them out. Yet again, it was the right foot of Clayton Dandy. That was just... There was a better way to summarize how this match has gone for Senegal. All you had to do was look at that free kick. Just not enough conviction in any of their finishes. They had good positions, however, but just did not have that final touch to take the ball beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. And whether it was through lack of power or just not exactly the best body positioning or technique, it just overall you can summarize that the execution was lacking. Nassana Traoré, the fullback for Diambars, 17 years of age, picks up a yellow card. He was not at risk of suspension, so he'll be fine. Instant replay of the dance moves and the fans. Wonder if they'll be leaving after the 90th minute or if they'll wish to continue the party into the night. Maybe they'll bring it somewhere else. Back to the hotel, perhaps. Black Satellites not contesting that, allowing for Senegal to win a throw-in in their own half, not in a threatening area, but Ibrahima Diallo takes several steps forward from where the ball initially had gone out. Amidou Badji wins a throw-in. Good pressure from Joseph Aidou, who's been quite solid coming in as a midfielder for Afrifa. Almost could have had an assist, actually. Well, this has to find the header of Abdourahmane Dia, the number 13 forward. It doesn't. Afriye, astute little touch into Suleimana. Suleimana gets away from 1, 2, but not 3. Senegal have less than 1 minute to salvage something in this match. Cleared without much direction, but distance by Black Satellite. Lassana Traoré takes a touch, it's a bit far. Afriye pressing as if it was the opening minutes, and can he get something out of it? He's not gonna stop. Excellent by Afriye and Ofori McCarthy. Both have been key players in this victory for Ghana. Well, it's looking like it's going to be a victory. Sadio Dia, a stern look on his face. Can't be happy with what this means. Senegal under immense pressure going into match day 3, where they'll take on Democratic Republic of Congo. Ghana have managed this victory with perfection. They've broken the curse of their West African records, and Senegal are defeated. The title holders have lost on match day 2 to a valiant Black Satellite side led by their manager Desmond Ofe. He wanted to see hunger. Hunger is what he got. And they capitalized on an early opportunity and then bolted the door shut. The Senegalese tried and tried and tried, but they always faltered, whether it was through lack of conviction in finishing or good positioning from the goalkeeper of the Black Satellites, Gidios Asiako. Senegal, who had not lost in their last 12 games, their 12 group stage matches in this tournament, are defeated and are now third. Ghana second with 4 points, tied with Democratic Republic of Congo. A strong victory. The goal came from the foot of that man, Emmanuel Mensah, who will be named man of the match. He was exemplary in his defensive comebacks as well. Scored a beautiful goal. And it's delight all around the Suez Stadium. The supporters put in the work as well. They were putting rhythm to the beats of the match. Singing, dancing, costumes. They had it all. The support behind these Black Satellites was wonderful. And the post-match interview for Emmanuel Mensah could commence. Surely he'll be asked a couple of questions, or at least one, as he poses with the trophy. As for les Lionceaux de la Teranga, they have to look at themselves and wonder what they have to change. They want to escape from this group.
Thank you. I'm very happy, I'm very excited. We thank you for their support, we thank them for their support. We wish they should come more.